A few weeks ago, I was honoured with the responsibility of conducting a celebration of life for a wonderful man who had really deeply inspired the people with whom he had come into contact during the course of his lifetime. This chap had become a fantastic artist and sculptor in the course of his lifetime. But what became clear through the encounters I had with the people that knew him best was how much his sensitivity and ability to work materials, hard materials, metalwork and stonework, and indeed wood and paint, his ability to manipulate those materials with great sensitivity very much paralleled with his ability to show a similar sensitivity to the people that he lived with, to the people that he loved, his family, his friends, his children. It's really touching sometimes to work with a family and be able to be let into their most intimate details of their relationships with friends and family, to really be able to hear somebody's life through a variety of different lenses and to be able to see the patterns where those stories coincide, to be able to see that this is not just one person's estimation of another. It correlates with those pictures that many people have of someone. I couldn't help escape the profound sense of goodness that came from all the descriptions that I had from him. And of course, one is likely to encounter positive accounts of people, but that's not always the case. It's not always the case. In fact, in the light of death, great honesty about people's opinions of each other can surface. So I really trust the estimations of all of these different people and the warmth that they expressed. This man, who in the course of his lifetime did a great deal of work for others, his commitment to service was really clearly visible. He participated in the VSO program for a few years and travelled abroad, working in Africa, helping people to realise the value of their own goods. He worked for a period of his life with the Masai Mara, in the Masai Mara, with the Masai, who had got into the habit of selling kind of inferior objects to tourists and other foreigners. You know, the stuff that they made, which was of very high quality, tended to be for their own community. And he helped them to see that by creating those same high quality goods for others, they would be able to create a great deal of wealth for themselves and for their families. And indeed, he supported them by creating a project that enabled them to sell things like belts to the likes of Ralph Lauren. That project is still running today, as well as another project that he initiated where he supported specifically African women to be able to develop some kind of financial autonomy. It was habitual that the women that did a lot of work in their communities found themselves deprived of a lot of the income because of the drinking habits of their partners. And so this project was developed specifically to provide that kind of independence and autonomy to the African women they were working with. And that project runs to this day. It's really incredible to see somebody's positive work, someone's positive contribution still reaping rewards, really offering a legacy even in the wake of the end of their life. You know, it was very sad to see this man, who was a father of 2 children, who will be simply left with the memory of a father. He died when they were both quite young, and it will be a challenge for them, undoubtedly, growing up without a clear vision of this man who showed them so much tenderness and care and attention. he kind of died of a broken heart at the end of his life, and it's not really for me to go into the details, but again, there was something really magical, very, very profound to be let into this family's life and to be able to support them in saying farewell. He had actually died in another country, and in a country where burial has to happen really quickly. And as a consequence, there was no proper ceremony for them over there, and there wasn't a ceremony as such in this country. And I'm really glad for them that they took it upon themselves to organise a celebration of life, because those moments where a community can gather together, when all the friends and family come together to say their goodbyes, are really valuable and precious moments. And I like to think it's helped them to be able to, there's never closure, but to at least have a sense of turning the page. I suppose the final thing I want to mention in relation to this man and his life, he created lots of artworks, and they are still being enjoyed to this day. Sculptures that reside in woodland and in parks, and absolutely stunning pieces where he really managed to capture the living essence of something in otherwise dead and inert materials. There's incredible magic to that. I'm just astounded by the human capacity to render lifelike something which is ultimately inanimate. It's a very precious thing. It's a real honour to have been able to serve this man, and I'm very lucky to be able to call this profession my vocation. They're my thoughts for today. Thank you.